My name is Rob. I'm the athlete manager for Enhanced Labs. We're doing a product review today on Carb-tech by Enhanced Labs. And we have the Enhanced Labs CEO, the Canadian chemist himself, and the creator of these products to give a little bit of a scientific breakdown of the product and how it works and how it was created. And then we also have Seth Jordan, a long-time Enhanced affiliate, and Johnny Ugent, another Enhanced affiliate, to give their personal opinion and breakdown on the product. So Trevor, what is Carb-tech all about?
First of all, dig in the shirt, guys. I'm the only one not in the enhanced shirt. So Carb-tech, like the name sounds, is obviously carbohydrates. But what's really unique about Carb-tech is it's a high molecular weight carbohydrate. So that means is it's such a dense molecule that it immediately bypasses the stomach and then goes into your intestines and into your bloodstream, which is what you want. You want blood glucose when you're working out. So cheaper carbs, like the carbs you would find in regular sports drinks, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of them, but you know what I'm talking about. That's just sugar. So that's a very low weight molecular carbohydrate, and that can cause gastric upset. And that's not really what you really want, because that's going to be sitting in your stomach for so long. By the time your body finally digests it and utilizes it, your workout's already over. Like with an intra workout carb, you want it to be like instant, right? Because your workout's 60, 75, 90 minutes. So that's what's really unique about Carb-tech, is that the carb is in and out of your stomach and right into your bloodstream. It's almost like you'd be taking like a glucose drip, which is what you want, because you want your blood glucose levels to be right around 90 during your workout to get the best muscle contractions. So that's where Carb-tech came from, is when Tony and myself were talking about like the best workout environment. You want your glucose to be about 80 to 90, and that's going to give you the best muscle contractions, the best energy, the best endurance, also the best growth state, right? Because glucose and cortisol are analogous, right? They don't like each other. And that's why they always say, you know, take carbs after your workout to blunt cortisol. That's true. But if you have carbs during your workout, there's gonna be less cortisol and less muscle breakdown. So that's what's really unique about Carb-tech. And then we also added electrolytes, minerals, creatine, lactic acid buffers, all those like sexy ingredients that are gonna help enhance performance. But the really coolest thing about Carb-tech, and what's really different about Carb-tech about other carb products, is the type of carb. So it's not, it's like wine, right? Like when you say wine, that could mean anything from like your $5 naked grape to like your $5,000 super expensive whatever. I don't drink alcohol, but like you get what I'm saying, right? And it's like same thing with carbs, is that most of these companies are using basically table sugar, which is it's crap carb. It's a carb by definition, but it's not really doing much for you. Number one, fructose can only replenish liver glycogen, so it's not going to do anything for your muscles. And number two, because it's such a low molecular weight, by the time your body actually fully absorbs it and utilizes it, your workout's already over. So it's not really helping you. Like it would be like eating a steak in the middle of your workout. Like you're not really going to benefit from that protein because your body has to digest and assimilate that, right? And that's why you drink amino acids during your workout, because amino acids are free form. So that's kind of like why Carb-tech was made, is it's like the next level sports drink, right? It's like, we didn't invent the sports drink or the intra workout category by no means, but we wanted to perfect it. And that we basically looked at like, what are the other companies doing and how can we improve it? And we basically use this next generation carb that no one else is using.
Excellent. Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate that breakdown of it. I've never heard it explained like that, and it's great to hear the facts about it from the creator himself. So I've used Carb-tech, and I know Seth has used it and Johnny's used it. Seth, how do you use Carb-tech, and what do you think about Carb-tech?
So I love Carb-tech. I pretty much use it throughout my whole entire workout. I know some people like to do it post-workout, but my favorite time is during the workout, because I like to keep the muscles fuller. So if you have not eaten any food before, it's a way to fill up and stay full the whole entire time your workout is, and you don't feel lethargic. So those are the most optimal times I like to do it. I do it post-workout too, so I could go ahead and just go home, eat my meal, fill right up, and I feel great. I don't have any lack of energy during my workout when I use it. So if it's something that you want to step your game up, I would definitely use Carb-tech.
Awesome. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate the feedback on that. And what about you, Johnny? I know you train a lot of people and you do coaching and stuff like that. How do you utilize Carb-tech?
Yeah, so I've always been a fan of intra-workout drinks and getting the most out of your workout. But the problem is that most of the intra-workout drinks were either too much carbs or just they didn't sit well in my stomach. So the first thing I noticed about Carb-tech is that it did sit well in my stomach. And I'm always going for the pump. I'm always going for, I like feeling like I can keep going and going and going. So I'm all about taking the right supplements to feel that way. And Carb-tech does that for me because it has the perfect amount of carbohydrates. It has certain stuff in there that I like beta alanine, creatine, electrolytes. It has just the amount of sodium that I like, not too much, not too little. It's pink Himalayan sea salt. And just the ingredients like that, I like to both push harder in the gym and get better pumps in the gym. And I definitely recommend it to my clients as well, not just myself, because I want my clients to get the maximum amount of performance in the gym with the right electrolytes, carbohydrates. And I've done it like how Seth does it, intra-workout and post-workout. I prefer it intra-workout because sometimes just water doesn't cut it. You got to have something in your water to maximize the workout. And if you're taking other supplements as well, or maybe other performance supplements, you want to maximize each and every workout. And that's what I like about Carb-tech.
Yeah, my personal experience with Carb-tech is, for those that don't know, Trevor, I've known Trevor for a long time now. He really helped me lose a lot of the weight I've lost and helped transform my lifestyle and my whole physique. And one time he wrote out a program for me where I was going into the gym fasted, but where I would drink the Carb-tech Intra. And we were kind of like, I forgot exactly what we were doing at the time, but it was my first experience with Carb-tech where I would take 2 scoops during my workout. So I wouldn't eat anything before the gym. I was going early in the morning. I'd take 2 scoops of Carb-tech during the workout with 1 scoop of VAAs. And my experience on it was incredible because I had prolonged energy during my workout. And the one thing that I loved about it the most was the pump. The pump was sick that I experienced while I was working out. I know a lot of our athletes and affiliates use Carb-tech. Some people, they don't eat carbs before they go to the gym, and then they use the Carb-tech for carbs while they work out with the electrolytes and the creatine to help. And then some people use it directly after their workout too, to get those post-workout carbs. So that's our review on Carb-tech. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned.
Can I add some more interesting stuff?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So the carbs in Carb-tech, they're highly branched cyclic dextrins. Febreze actually uses a similar technology, and that's what Febreze does. Is it kind of
Really?
it surrounds the odor molecule. So what's really interesting about these highly branched cyclic dextrins is because they're absorbed so fast, it has a shuttling effect. So everything you else take with it gets shuttled to the muscles.
No
So when you
shit.
take Carb-tech with creatine, lactic acid buffers, and all those things, it's like a catalyst to get those to the muscles faster. And what's really interesting is what you said, Robert, is that's actually the perfect workout environment, is because when you're fasted, you have your adrenaline, your fight or flight, all these norephedrine hormones raise what you want, right?
Yep.
But you also don't want to be going into a workout catabolic, right? Because we want to build muscle. So if you're fasted, but then you take Carb-tech during your workout, you're getting the best of both worlds. Because your sympathetic and your parasympathetic are 2 different nervous systems.
Yep.
You don't want to eat a bunch of food before you work out. And I'm sure you've experienced that, right? You eat a bunch of food before you work out, you feel lethargic, you don't feel good. But when you're fasted, you feel like you can just go forever,
Yep.
right? So that's kind of why Tony and myself made Carb-tech, is because Tony's the same way. He doesn't really like to eat before the gym. Neither do I. And also I train super early generally, right? Because I'm in school and doing other things. So, that environment was exactly the perfect situation for Carb-tech. Is you're fasted, or either you haven't eaten for a little bit, you take some stimulants, so your adrenaline and all these fight or flight hormones are through the roof. You're gonna have a crazy workout, but because you're fasted, your glycolytic pathways are gonna be suppressed and your energy is gonna drop. And that's normally what happens about 30 minutes into your workout. You burn through all that immediate energy, and then your body goes into that fat burning mode, which is good, and we want that, but then your performance decreases. So with Carb-tech, there's enough carbs that you're still going to burn fat, but it's just a little bit to keep those blood sugar levels optimal, so you can have the best muscle contractions and the best focus. Because another thing people forget is that Your muscles can run off of fat or glucose. Glucose is the preferred energy source, but they can still use muscle. They can still use fat. Just your performance will decrease, but your brain can only use glucose. And that fog when you're training fasted is that, I'm sure a lot of people have experienced that, is that their workout's going great and they just hit that, like they just hit that wall. And that's another thing that Carb-tech helps circumvent, is the mental fatigue. And you always hear about that, right? Is like, like the first half of your workout's always harder than the first. Yes, there's a bit of physical exhaustion, but most of it's actually mental exhaustion.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It really does. And that's interesting that you can go to the gym fasted and still take Carb-tech and not really block that fat burning mode either by taking in some carbohydrates. So
that's what's super cool about Carb-tech, is that because the carbs are absorbed so fast, it's like into your muscles. It's almost like it's almost like you're injecting them into your muscles, because like it's absorbed so fast and your GLUT4 enzymes are activated during your workout. Those carbs are in your bloodstream, into your muscles, and it's like it never happened.
Excellent.
It's really, really interesting. And the reason why, when you go to a hospital and that IV drip is glucose, is because those people are terminally ill and they want whatever brain function they can still get out of them, because they're gonna have people visit and stuff. That's why they're giving them a slow drip of glucose, is just to maintain that cognitive function.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it makes perfect sense, because sometimes when you're depleted or you're completely exhausted from the gym, and that first time when you hit like a carbohydrate, or even if you had, one of those cheap, crappy, electrolyte drinks out there, you get an instant like boom to your brain. Your brain starts sparking. And I noticed that too when I was taking the Carb-tech while I worked out. I mentally felt better, and it was like a complete mind and body like connection was better. My muscles felt better and my brain felt better while I was working out.
When you're exhausted and you don't really like let's say you haven't eaten dinner, right? And it's just been like a super long day, your kids are sick or whatever. And then you start forgetting things, right? You say like, hey honey, I'll be at the condo in 20 minutes. And your wife's like, condo? We bought a house 6 months ago. And you're like, oh yeah, right? Or like, you can't remember your garage door code, right? That's all signs of your blood glucose being super low, and then your cognitive function starting to decline. And think about it, right? Like if you can't remember you bought a house because you're so tired and your brain's not functioning, can you get the best workout possible? Of course not.
Absolutely not. Yep.
Yeah, that's why I like the Carb-tech too, is because you could be eating less before your workout. You're not as like full, and on top of that, you don't want to go in completely empty, but you have some Carb-tech, you get the right amount of carbs in the muscles, and you get a good pump from it. Because instead of eating a huge meal with carbs, it's better to eat a lighter meal for most people, and then go and have their intra-workout drink while they train.
So Trevor, another question too for you. So if you could really use this product if you're cutting or bulking, correct?
Yeah, because there's only 12.5 grams of carbs per scoop. Most people take 2 scoops. There's 25 grams of carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. 25 grams of carbs is 100 calories. Like it's not super, like it's not enough to blunt fat loss. And what I've done with a lot of like pro bodybuilders before is that your carbs are energy, right? So having carbs at noon when you work out at 5 a.m., like you don't really need those carbs. So what's really effective for fat loss, so what I've done with you before, Robert, is have carbs before your workout, during your workout, and after your workout.
Yep.
And then the rest of the day, no carbs.
Yep.
Because then your body's utilizing those carbs. None of them are going to get stored as fat. And the rest of the day, you're in fat burning mode. So I think when you're on a fat loss diet and your calories are conserved, you have to be almost like analytical and educated on where you're going to spend your carbs.
Yep.
Having them during your workout is the most effective way to use them, right? So I would actually say during a fat loss environment, especially if you're on like a low carb diet, prioritizing that peri-workout nutrition is important. And then also when you're cutting, your workouts are what keep the muscle there, right? Like it doesn't matter how much super supplements you're on, like hard training is what's going to keep the muscles. It's going to give you that dense look. So when you're dieting, you want to do everything you can to maximize workout performance. And if you talk to like Jay Cutler or like Ronnie Coleman or like the guys who do this for a living, they all have like their pre-workout rituals. Like they listen to certain songs. If you talk to like other like pro athletes, like they'll sit in the sauna or they'll like meditate or things like that. Like they're all about optimizing that workout performance, and that's the most important thing.
Definitely. Everybody usually has a routine. I think you just convinced me to go back on Carb-tech.
No reason to cycle off Carb-tech.
So anybody else have anything to share on Carb-tech?
Yeah, I actually wanted to bring up, just kind of like going off of what Trevor said. Usually when you're cutting, I'll do this as well. Instead of like using white rice before, or like a carb before your workout, and you don't have that food right away, you'll have your Carb-tech, so you kind of emulate that carb by using Carb-tech. So it's a good way to fill up your muscles if you want like a quick like meal, basically, instead of using that food. Some people don't have the time to cook right away, so the Carb-tech will be a good way to emulate that food, basically.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up, because the other day, like you know, Trevor has taught me to utilize my carbs around my workout, and I still do that. Like I'll eat my carbs right after I work out to maximize them, and then the rest of the day I really won't eat carbs. I'm back on that. And I hadn't eaten. I was going to the gym at like 5 o'clock. I hadn't eaten any carbs going into that. I felt dead. I felt like completely like depleted, and I'm like, how am I going to get through this workout? And I should have taken the Carb-tech, but I didn't. But that would have been a great time for me to drink some Carb-tech while I was working out.